Welcome one, welcome all to my updated thoughts on Borderlands 4. I originally had this video planned for about 2 weeks ago, but I wanted to wait until the event was out so that I could include some post-launch coverage in my discussion without seeming completely presumptuous. I mean, before the Halloween event happened, we all, at least I don't know, a lot of people I talked to, we already had a good idea of what it was going to be, but when it hit, it's just like, okay, wow, it's really just this. Which is, wow. So anyways, to begin, I want to share my updated thoughts on Borderlands 4, but to begin, I want to talk about the event, because it is the hot topic as of late, and I also want to talk about it first so that I can kind of delve into the rest of post-launch for Borderlands 4 and my thoughts on how that will go, how it is going, all that and the like. Okay, so October 23rd, we got a pretty big patch, and the patch itself did a lot of good things. It was just a good overall patch. It did some things that I didn't even expect to happen, like lowering the respec cost on specializations because it was 5,000 iridium, now it's only 1,500 iridium. Stuff like that really surprised me. I didn't hear a lot of people complaining about things like that, so I was surprised when it got rebalanced like that, and I was happy about it. What I was not so happy about and knew going into it that I just didn't care about it was the Halloween event. I knew what it was going to be going in. I knew I wasn't going to care about it. And essentially, for anybody that hasn't hopped on to try it or see it yet, basically the Halloween event is those World Rift Champion boss things, the things where like the bubble pops up in the open world and there is a boss that spawns in it. The world boss just spawns up in the open world. Basically, the event is in that bubble. The weather changes, and I put that in quotes because it basically changes it to this like orange filter, so your screen is like orange for spoopy time. And then you kill the boss, and then you have a chance to get these 2 legendary pieces of loot they added to the game through this event. Which, yeah, there's literally only 2. And that is literally the entire event. And not only that, I know this is like almost nitpicking at this point, but I didn't like that through the event to get the legendaries, it sends it to you in the reward system through like the loot box kind of thing. It's not actually a loot box for people that don't know. It's just a crate that you open up to get like mission rewards and stuff. It's not like actually a loot box. But I didn't like that it sent it to you instead of just dropping it on the ground. That's like the good feel kind of Borderlands grinding that we go for. I like seeing it, hearing the ping and then it drops on the ground and I go and run over and look at it and I'm excited. Instead, I'm just opening up these crates. Beyond that, that's the least of the event's problems. The event is literally just a reskin of these bubbles. They added a couple legendaries for you to have a chance to get by doing these like random pop-up bubble things, because they're not dedicated, like they just show up, every time you do X or Y or Z. You just basically have to look for these things, and then you go in the bubble and kill the guy, and then you have a chance to get a legendary, and one of those, that legendary you had a chance to get could be the seasonal spoopy legendaries, which at the end of it all, when you finally get them, really, really, really suck. And when I say really suck, I mean like actually like the grenade is probably like the worst piece of gear in the game. And I mean like overall, not just in the legendary section, just overall like probably the worst piece of gear in the game. TweetyExpert, shout out to her. Check out her channel and everything. I'll have it linked down below. She put out a clip where she threw the legendary spoopy seasonal grenade at a dummy and tested it, and then ran over to a vending machine and got a random white rarity grenade, threw it at the dummy, and it did more damage than the legendary spoopy seasonal event grenade. And the gun that you get is no better. So I mean, what else do I say? Like, I think Gearbox knows. Everybody's been making a ton of noise about it. The event is absolute trash. I don't even know how else to put it. It's like, there's no nice way to put it. It's not good. It's really, really bad. on every front. First of all, as I've said, I streamed for like 7 hours playing this thing. I didn't actively look for the bubbles because I was like, no way am I doing this. I saw what it was, and I don't like when I have to farm for the ability to farm. That's what I called it with the lucky dice situation in Borderlands, where it's like I basically have to go farm for and search for lucky dice and crap. It's the same thing here. I have to farm to find these bubbles. I have to go like look around for these things. And only then, once I've found it, can I have the chance to kill the boss and then have the chance to get the legendary. The farming I like in Borderlands is when I show up to a dedicated space for a dedicated piece of loot to kill that one enemy and not have a chance to kill him or something. Like, I mean, obviously have a chance to kill him as in like I can die, but I don't want it to be like, oh man, is he gonna show up this time? No, that is not, like, we learned this lesson time and time again in Borderlands. Borderlands 3, they had rare spawn enemies. They had to change that because nobody liked it. Wonderlands, we had the dice. Nobody liked that. Like, I don't know how many times, like, it's this, I just think of the SpongeBob meme, like, all the time, like, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? I don't know what we have to do to keep Gearbox remembering some of these lessons. And when you look at this Halloween event in comparison to the Borderlands 3 Halloween event, it's just not it. Like, Borderlands 3, I called it before Borderlands 4 ever came out, and I don't want to be exaggerative. I don't want to be presumptuous, but I kind of am being presumptuous because here's what this event did for Borderlands 4, and here's what it did for people that looked forward to the post-launch of Borderlands 4. It killed any kind of good expectations we had. If this is how the event got treated, how do we expect bounty packs to be treated? How do we expect full DLC to be treated? I called it before Borderlands 4 came out. I said Borderlands 3 was the best we're ever gonna get in post-launch. And people didn't respect it in its time. People didn't enjoy it in its time. I think people are gonna look back at it and they're gonna think real different real quick. Because Borderlands 4's post-launch so far, I mean, you can see it with your own eyes. This is all we got. And like Borderlands 3 by this point was not in great shape. But we got, instead of like, we got Bloody Harvest and we got a takedown. And we have 0 takedowns planned for post-launch. I can't remember if I said this on stream or off stream, but I was talking to my friends and saying Borderlands 4 just feels like the exact opposite of Borderlands 3 right now. At least right now. And again, I'm probably being very like assuming, presumptuous, because we only got one event. So maybe this is just a bad look and the bounty pack is going to be something we really like. The full DLC will be something we really like. But it just feels like right now, Borderlands 4 is like the opposite of Borderlands 3, where at launch, everyone loves it, everyone's really digging it, and the post-launch sucks. Borderlands 3 at launch, a lot of people dropped it, and then it had great post-launch, and nobody came back for it. And it feels like the opposite is going to happen with Borderlands 4, and I pray that I am wrong here. I mean, to be quite honest, as somebody that got the Super Deluxe Edition, I already feel like I got a slap in the face, because there's no endgame at launch, and I don't get what we have to do to get this to be at launch, because literally everyone shouted from the rooftops what, like, we need endgame. Like, regardless of how they said it, the general consensus everybody had was you gotta have a raid boss at launch. Like, not having one, and I completely understand, it's too late for me to be complaining like this now. It's too late. I spent my money on the game, and when the game was coming out and we knew that there wasn't going to be one at launch when they announced it like a week before, I'll admit it, the marketing, the hype, the excitement, it all sucked me in, and I said exactly this in videos, that I don't care, I'm too hyped right now, and I'll worry about it when I need to worry about it. That was a mistake on my part. It was a complete mistake. And the reason why I said that, the reason why I thought that was because When Borderlands 3 came out, I've always said I enjoyed the ride Borderlands 3 took me on of all the updates, fixing, balancing, giving content. I enjoyed that. Granted, it did much better, at least starting off, it did much better. The Bloody Harvest event was light years better than whatever this was. But I think the biggest reason why I enjoyed Borderlands 3 so much more riding along its content cycle and all that was because I wasn't a hardcore Borderlands player until Borderlands 3. I was more casual where I just did the playthroughs and didn't really know much about endgame. So not having endgame at launch with Borderlands 3, which I didn't realize till Borderlands 4 hit, it didn't bother me as much because, again, I didn't do that stuff. So it just didn't bother me. And then I found K6 and watched him and started learning about endgame. And then I started watching Moxie and I learned even more about endgame. And then by that time, the takedown was like a month away. So I didn't have to wait that long for endgame because I just found out about it. And then I'm learning like a month later, we're gonna get this takedown. So it was one of those things where I just didn't have to wait as long as others and it didn't bother me. So the first 3 months of Borderlands 3, or however long it took to get the takedown, it just didn't bother me like it did others. And I'm learning that now because now I am into endgame. I am waiting for a freaking raid. I just can't get over the fact that I'm waiting 3 months for one raid boss. And so to be completely honest, the lesson that Gearbox is giving me here is don't buy the game at launch. Just don't do it. You can get the upgraded edition and stuff if you want all the content, but to be completely honest, I don't know if I want it all, and don't buy it at launch because they're not going to give us anything to do at launch outside of the main game. It's hard for me to say don't get it at launch when I've nearly put 300 hours on the game, and that's where I'm like, I still enjoy the main game, but this post-launch stuff, the no raid boss, it just all really feels like a slap in the face when the general consensus, if you asked any Borderlands enthusiast or whatever, like fan, they all would have said we need a raid boss or some kind of end game in Borderlands 4 at launch. That's what they would have wanted. So beyond the fact that the Halloween event sucked, my point is that now we all have to worry about the rest of the content because this event was so, like, I hate to say no effort because I get it. Game development is hard. I don't know game development. I am not one myself. So speaking to it and saying it's lazy when I don't do the work is truly insulting and hard to say when I don't know what the work includes. But I mean, anyone with eyes can see this was basically a reskin. I don't really know what else to say about it. It does feel lazy. I'm sorry, Gearbox, but this event really feels lazy. I don't know how else to put it. And I can't stress enough how this has made people feel about the future post-launch content that you're giving us. We didn't see a ton about the bounty pack. All we saw was where the boss was and like this bunker you go into to fight, which everyone's saying just looked like a reskinned order bunker. And if that's the case, if it's like Rush, just, you know, you go up to him and he's like, dude, we gotta get rid of this guy, go here. If that's what it is, and it's just I run into an order bunker with like Christmas decorations in it, I am gonna, wow. I don't even know what to say. It won't be good. You're not gonna have good reception. You're not gonna be having a good time, Gearbox, because people are gonna be pissed, especially with something they paid for. The DLC, I mean, we're getting a playable character. That's cool. Hopefully he's actually good, because otherwise, again, reception will be really rough. But the full DLC, I gotta be honest, with the way things are going, if the bounty pack, I know, again, this is presumptuous talk, but with the bounty pack, if the bounty pack isn't good, if it's basically a reskinned order bunker, and let's say the DLC is a normal full story DLC with like a 6-hour playtime kind of thing, like a Borderlands 3 full story DLC. To be quite honest, that still feels like a slap in the face because Borderlands 3 got 4 of those in a year, on top of events like Bloody Harvest, on top of free takedowns. So if the bounty packs turn out to be just reskinned Order Bunker kind of deal, and then the DLC is a full story DLC at like a normal 6-hour kind of pacing, I don't see the value anymore. Like, that's where this event has put me. It's put me in a mindset where I'm thinking the worst for this stuff, where I was thinking the best for this stuff before. I was thinking maybe it won't quite be Borderlands 3 post-launch, but it'll be kind of similar. Maybe they don't want to do 4 full story DLCs. That's a lot of work, but they want to do 2 and then kind of make it like a larger scaled story DLC than previous ones. Maybe it wouldn't add up to, you know, having 4 per year if you get 2 now, but at least they'd be larger in scale and such. But I don't know. I'm genuinely concerned for this stuff now, and that's what the Halloween event did for me, and I think it's what it did for a lot of other people now. The sad part is that Borderlands 4, its base game, is still a great game. It may have some issues here and there, but I still really enjoy it. As I said, I have like 200 plus, almost 300 hours on this game, I think, something around there. And I mean, my biggest issue, honestly, is the scaling in the base game of Borderlands 4, where we, you know, do too many missions, main missions, like too many campaign missions, and oh boy, like that's a bad thing. So you gotta scale up your enemies so that they're like 5-6 levels ahead of me, and then I have to go do side quests to bring things back to normal. I just don't get that. I still enjoy playing the game and doing side quests and things, but if I want to run just the main missions, then let me do that. What is the problem? And then my other, like, kind of issue is just not enough fast travels in Borderlands 4. I don't know why you make all these Moxie Encore machines to make farming faster, but then you don't make fast travels to go along with each and every one of them so that we can just go and do exactly what we want to do. Some people have issues with specializations and not being account wide. Honestly, I was against this. Personally, I don't really care anymore. As long as they make it so that the points are by default not spent and give me the ability to just disable it anytime. That's it. That's all you'd have to do. I don't care if you make it account wide, whatever. I'm over that shit. So Borderlands 4 overall in its base game, still a ton of fun. It's just that there is literally no end game to do whatsoever, and the end game ranks are completely useless and avoidable, and honestly more worth avoiding. Just put your game all the way down to easy. You'll get more legendaries faster because the game is a lot easier. Doesn't affect your drop chance or anything. It really only affects how many parts you get on a weapon, but even that, they said, is marginal, so it's not worth the difficulty increase because it's very, very slight. So the faster farming kind of makes up the difference for that anyways. So post-launch is extremely concerning as somebody that already put all their money on it. I guess, you know, I learned my lesson. Until further notice. Maybe they'll prove me wrong, and I've been worrying for nothing, but this event was not a good sign for what's to come. The base game itself, fun, great. The story, I still love. The cutscenes, I still, like, there's some cutscenes I literally just don't skip, even though I've seen them numerous times. I thought whoever did the cutscenes did an absolutely fantastic job. But there are some things that I really get annoyed by. Like, it feels almost like monkey paw type shit where it's like, oh, we gave you a faster way to farm, but you gotta run like 20 minutes to get there. Like, just weird shit like that is really, really frustrating to me as a player. It's like, I explored the crap out of your world in my first playthrough. I have explored it a decent amount in my second playthrough. I don't want to explore it in my 100th playthrough. Please make it so I can get where I want to go faster. And then if I want to play campaign and not do like 12 side quests in between missions, please let me do that. I don't understand the problem. I don't know why this is even a system in place. I don't know who thought of it. I don't know why they thought of it. I don't get the purpose. A lot of the stuff that they've done to kind of inconvenience you from just finishing the game when you want to feels like a bunch of bloat to make their game longer than it needs to be, and that's pretty much it. It's just like, you can't do this because devs say so. So that's the annoyances I have. Again, overall, base game is fun. The story is great. The side quests are pretty good overall. I actually enjoy a lot of the side quests. It's just that there's some really memorable ones. It's just the fact that they force me into all this stuff that really annoys me. But I've been yapping for like over 20 minutes, so y'all get the point. I don't know. Borderlands 4 overall, with post-launch included, concerning, to say the least. There's still plenty of chance for redemption through updates and the bounty pack actually being something that is a lot better. I'm personally, if it's Headhunter like kind of DLC, I'm happy. But if it's just straight up, I go to Rush and he tells me I gotta get rid of somebody, and then we go to an order bunker, it's reskinned, and that is like the entire bounty pack, I'm just not gonna be happy. So there's plenty of chances for Gearbox to redeem themselves here. What do you guys think about the event, about Borderlands 4 and the updates it's had? I think the patch overall did pretty good at fixing some problems that really needed to be fixed, like the echo log issue. I think, and I'll say this, just one last thing. I think if Gearbox really, if a lot of people are concerned about post-launch and Gearbox is hearing that, if the bounty pack is more than, you know, what I've said before with the reskin, show some of that. Just don't be silent, like calm our nerves. Do something, show that you do have more in store and that there is something for us to be excited about. Because if it is just a reskin, dear God, just hide. I don't know what else to say. But yeah, if you have more than that, I'd say show that, because otherwise we're all very concerned and you left us in a state of thinking that post-launch isn't going to be what we all were really hoping for from Borderlands 4. So that's my advice to Gearbox, if they've ever listened to any of my videos. But with that, I'll see y'all in the next one. Let me know your thoughts down below. Are you guys concerned for the future of Borderlands 4? Have you been enjoying playing through Borderlands 4? Have you just put it down and you're not touching it until the full DLC comes out or whatever? Let me hear it all down below. See y'all in the next one. Peace out.